That's one issue I would like to discuss during this convention as well. That's something that's a topic that they have been talking about it, the different organizations. One says that they will, I think they will ban boxers to participate for 2 years. I think PACO doesn't have to make any statement about it. And I think the IPF, and if I'm right, it's taking them 1 year. I think we'll ban the boxers 1 year, whatever it is. I think it's a little bit difficult to do.
The World Boxing Association president, Herberto Mendoza, has revoked Gervonta Davis's boxing license due to a ninth-round incident during his fight against Lamont Roach earlier this month. The organization has faced criticism for their perceived double standards, with Steve Willis, the judges, and the technical review team all contributing to Roach's 26th victory.
Cards. Judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
So,
right.
But you say you don't think he willing though.
Whatever.
See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But you, it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on, ref.
Time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Following a meeting to review the situation, the boxing community criticized the World Boxing Association's decision not to interfere with the outcome of the fight. As a result, the WBA president has seized Gervonta Davis's license and suspended any plans for an immediate rematch until he has served the full punishment for his actions. Despite human and technical errors, the WBA refused to overturn the result in favor of Lamont Roach, disappointing the boxing community and undermining the organization's reputation for impartiality.
There's no studies about it. There's nothing that would say which the pros or the amateurs, which one is dangerous or which one is not. You know, I look forward to having whatever medical guidelines we need to follow and to develop in order to protect boxers. That's one thing. I'm really concerned on this matter and not jump ahead. I do believe that the International Olympic Committee allows professionals to participate in different other sports.
The organization did not initially conclude this when Davis was defeated by World Boxing Association super featherweight champion Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st, resulting in a majority draw and tarnishing Davis's pristine record. In the ninth round of the fight, Davis took a knee and Willis pronounced it a no knockdown, despite the fact that he had started a standing 10 count. Later, it was found that grease from Davis's hair was the source of the issue. The New York State Athletic Commission intervened after a technical issue prevented officials from reviewing replays of the incident, resulting in Roach Jr.'s inability to score and raise his hand.
You guys calm down and listen to me. Hey, come on now. He's trying to get it. There you go. That's what you do. There you go. Stay good. Stay focused.
After receiving a formal letter from Roach's team, the incident was reviewed and the draw was overturned, resulting in Roach's decisional triumph. In a now-deleted report on the WBA website, an article defended Willis's decision, claiming that it was not unreasonable or unjustifiable. The article also stated that Willis ruled in real time that Davis had not been struck by a punch before going down, so no knockdown should be recorded.
What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't speak on that?
Yeah.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
No personal opinion, nothing?
Judges are required by law to follow the referee's decisions and cannot overrule his decisions on knockdowns. Some critics have claimed that Williams's call benefited Davis unfairly, but we disagree with that idea. It continued. The World Boxing Association received a lot of criticism after this report surfaced, which may have led to its removal from their website. However, after the article's justification became contentious, World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza Jr. released an official statement regarding the now delayed report.
And it would be a lot of energy, a lot of things to do. I'd rather try to find a plan to do it. That's one thing we noticed. Regarding the rest, I hope you can enjoy China, enjoy the fortune of WBA China doing this convention.
Mendoza, a contributor on the WBA boxing website, stated, "He doesn't belong to any committee, has any influence or opinion in any matter of our association. Please stop misrepresenting this viewpoint. Y'all tweaking if y'all think Buddy was off for some stuff or had an off night, that stuff is just different there with me," Roach wrote in a tweet, expressing his frustration. "I told y'all from the start just because I and everybody else feel like I won, and you're acting like I said he was easy work or some stuff the knockdown gives me a UD," he added.
Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with right, and he took a knee. He took a knee.
You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right, back up, back up.
That's a generous call from him.
Did he not take a knee?
Take the mouthpiece to come out.
And that's right. Here comes.
Following their contentious majority draw, World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza started advocating for an immediate rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr., telling the ring, "We need to send a strong message out there. If the World Boxing Association formally orders the fight, Davis and Roach would have 120 days to run it back." Mendoza felt the controversy warranted a rematch. Roach, who was a huge underdog, is now waiting for his chance at redemption, while Davis, who has seen the negative reaction to the knee online, says he would welcome a rematch. However, since Gervonta Davis's license has been revoked, it is now unknown what will happen to a rematch.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Of course, another comparison I don't want to make to Mike Tyson, but...
Nah, that's crazy. That's what he do. He get dirty. He know that.
Still, it would be interesting to see what the New York State Athletic Commission would decide on the matter after the report. Would Davis receive his first career loss, or would the so-called face of boxing escape unscathed? It seems like the report was posted on the World Boxing Association website by mistake, or it might be a highly opinionated view of the fight that the World Boxing Association doesn't endorse. Given the kind of power and influence he possesses, it is important to consider how much money the fight would bring in for all parties. According to knowledgeable sources, Dan Rafael claims that Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach generated at least 260K purchases. According to Rafael's article, one source puts the number at 262K.
Much in this fight in the championship rounds.
Nice right uppercut, left hook. Oh, another right hand, another right left by Roach. Davis fighting on even terms here in the 11th. Both of them have landed same amount of punches.
And Roach still talking to Tank.
And Davis eats the body shot. And another left hook upstairs, right hand, left. Oh, but there's a counter left from Davis.
The decision is a majority draw.
I let the...
Looking more closely at the numbers, the event brought in $21 million in pay-per-view revenue from all U.S. platforms, including Prime Video, PPV.com, and traditional linear television pay-per-view, where the fight was broadcast. The event cost $79.95. With 19,250 people in attendance, the Barclays Center set a record for the venue's 13-year existence. This helped guarantee Davis Roach generated the second largest gate for the building, which was close to $7 million. The PPV total for Davis Roach ranks fourth out of the 8 PPV events, only surpassed by a Rolling Stone show. With Gervonta Davis at the center, Tank has seemingly brought the boxing world to a complete standstill. All eyes are on the World Boxing Association lightweight champion right now, and everyone in his immediate vicinity is being scrutinized. In a situation like this, the parties involved must carefully plan every move they make and wonder if the WBA made a small mistake in this regard. They are currently busy clearing the storm it has caused, and regardless of the outcome, Lamont Roach still wants to win.
Obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him.
The boxing world is still talking about the WBA lightweight title fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, even though it happened almost 3 weeks ago. In addition to being contentious because Davis took a knee in the 9th round and then had his face wiped off in the corner, neither of which was penalized by referee Steve Willis. Since the fight concluded, Roach and Davis have engaged in a back-and-forth verbal sparring match that has increased the entertainment value. Since the fight concluded, Roach has appeared on the Big Time podcast multiple times to talk about it and maintain his argument that he should have won instead of the fight ending in a majority draw, which has kept the topic of their probable rematch alive. Additionally, Roach has been active on social media. On March 18th, he posted something that appears to have irritated Tank's fan base, which is probably exactly what Roach was attempting to accomplish.
And that, like, you know what I'm saying, that kind of landed. He kind of rolled with it, but after that, you can see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you can see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you can see me like...
On some actual materials, why are some of you so angry? His post on X, which has received over 215K views and 425 comments in less than 2 days, seems to be a classic example of a fighter trying to entice an opponent's fan base to fight. Given the engagement of the post and the fact that the comment section is full of Davis fans, the post has done its job. Top boxing coach. Many people believe I won the fight. I'm confused. Gang, what's going on? Did I do something to you guys? Teddy Atlas has also backed Roach in his tirades, provided a thorough analysis of the fight, and touched on what went wrong in the 9th round. As I often say, sometimes the safest place is in the eye of the storm. Roach understood that you need strength, confidence, and mental fortitude to do it, and he had all of that. In addition to his size, reach, and ability, he had the guts to enter there, something that many people can't do, and he succeeded in some areas. Then, he began walking Tank down late in the fight.
But like, he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that. Right. That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee.
There were several close rounds, so I believe Lamont Roach deserved to raise his hand, but I'd have to watch it again. The famed coach concurred with the rest of the boxing community that Roach was cheated out of his victory. Tank held the upper hand in the early and middle rounds. Roach came on in the later rounds and either won the title or at least got the draw. It was close in the 5th round. Nice shots, body work, and his typical routine. As you mentioned, Tank began tapping him while holding his gloves and saying, "Hey bud, good round." He's the boogeyman, knocking guys out without any reprieve or hope. And he has a disdainful attitude and arrogance that we have never seen before. He makes them feel like he's the bad guy, and bad things will happen because of that. Suddenly, he taps Roach, and I noticed it right away. No other commentators mentioned it, but I said it on our live stream. So don't think Roach missed it.
He got away with it. But the sport let him get away with it. There's nothing wrong with the fighters. It's the administrators of this sport that there's a lot wrong with. And there is. And you see it. And we shouldn't keep seeing it. It's got to be stopped. A referee, that is not in the rule book. You get hit with a jab. I know there was a second or two in between. Sometimes you see a delay, knockdown, whatever. The punch didn't hurt him. I understand that. But he got hit a jab, and then a second, 2 seconds later, he takes a knee. Guess what? I'm sorry. That constitutes a knockdown.
Continuing, Teddy Atlas said, "If I'm in Roach's corner and they did a great job. You're getting to this guy. He doesn't do that. He's making a concession, admitting you're getting to him. This is different tonight. You're making him feel vulnerable," is what I'm pointing out as soon as he returns. I'm not sure whether his corner mentioned that, but perhaps Roach sensed it himself. As the battle went on, you could see his confidence growing, and he appeared to be a bigger man. You're right, I used to get such tiny sponges for my grandchildren's tiny miniatures. I'm not going overboard, But in a battle like that against a monster, an unstoppable, dangerous force, all you need is a little something. You put them in the bathtub and they blow up. That's what Roach was doing. Growing bigger right before our eyes, to your point, Tank touching him. Of course, Roach saw it, felt it, and knew what it meant, meaning Tank was giving in a certain way.
After a punch somewhere around there, that's a knockdown. There is, again, we're not in football. There are no fair catches here. You know what I mean? And if it was, to your point last night when I said it, it would be a touchback. You know what I mean? It would, if you took a knee in a certain situation, it would be a touchback. You know, I mean, there were rules for a reason. Unless even Crawford came out.
I'm on the right track. I need the confidence that I'm getting to him tonight's different. The famous coach said, praising Lamont Roach so much that he suddenly exhibited a crack. Roach saw it and believed it was part of it. What did he do that? He began supporting Tank in what I had been concerned about, to be clear, but with a strong defense behind that jab, straight short punches. He began controlling him and taking control of the fight. As everyone is aware, Teddy Atlas and Mike Tyson have a long-running feud. He did make reference to Tyson and assert that he and Gervonta Davis were similar. The bottom line is that when you rely on intimidation, some things happen. I'm not suggesting Tank did that much, but Tyson did, and that's part of the mix. If the man doesn't become terrified, you become the intimidated. He becomes the intimidator. Although he didn't receive Tank's belt, Roach won yesterday night. And we are eager for that rematch because he deserves a great deal of credit for going into the lion's den and out unscathed while supporting Tank.
Crawford, pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world, in the top three between him, Inoue, and Usyk, right? I got Usyk first. I got him and Inoue right there. I think Usyk deserves to be first after what he's done, putting together the heavyweight title, the whole thing, the whole shebang. But Crawford came out and said, I didn't know that was a rule. I guess I was sleeping when they passed that one. I guess I was taking a nap, or maybe I was out doing road work. He didn't say that, by the way. I'm just adding that to it. But I must have been busy doing something when that rule. That is not a rule. I said it earlier. This is not the Indianapolis 500. You can't go into pit row. That you need your oil change.
Tank and another boxer named Jake have also been impacted by this Roach issue. Paul's possible confrontation with Gervonta following the 30-year-old's controversial draw with Lamont. Davis has fallen through. Following Paul's victory over Mike Tyson last November, Roach had plans for Davis and Paul to fight in an exhibition match. However, rumors indicate that Davis's team ended the lucrative talks after the WBA lightweight champion's license was seized. If Davis had defeated Roach, the fight with Paul would have likely been scheduled for the summer. In the end, the match was ruled a majority draw with scorecards of 115-113 in Davis's favor and 114,114,114,114 even.
We placed there two quality fighters, short punches, putting them together on the inside. That's science. I know a lot of people say, no, Teddy, that's fire. That's offense. That's aggression. No, that's the sweet science. You can do the sweet science and be aggressive. You don't have to do it on the outside only. You don't have to do it only, with separation. You don't have to do it only.
Paul observed events from ringside at Brooklyn's Barclays Center, but with Davis versus Roach rematch dates set for either June 21st at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas or June 28th with Atlanta or Miami as possible host cities. Future bout plans are now in ruins. Davis had previously given the troubled youngster the gauntlet, telling him, "This is my call-out, Jake Paul." What up, Jake Paul? Paul responded on social media, saying, "Floyd's little son calling me out. Come on, little Tank, you know better." Given their extreme weight class differences, Davis hanging near the lightweight class at 135 pounds and even dropping into super featherweight at 130 pounds, a professional sanction for a confrontation between them would be unrealistic.
Is Jake Paul someone you'd want to take on at one point?
Yeah, tell him this is my call out. Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul?
12 rounds of action. We go to the score. scorecards, judges at ringside, Max DeLuca and Benoit Roussel both scored about 119 to 109. Judge Tom Schreck scores at 120 to 108. All three in favor of the winner by unanimous decision.
The idea for Jake's crossover fight with Davis was influenced by his brother Logan's 2021 exhibition match against Floyd Mayweather, in which Logan tipped the scales at 189.5 pounds, while Mayweather was a full 34.5 pounds lighter at 155 pounds. This stands in stark contrast to Paul's cruiserweight physique, which was evident in his recent 227 pounds weigh-in for a Tyson fight. It is believed that a similar arrangement would have been made for Davis's fight against Paul. What do you think about Tank's license being seized? Do you think the WBA will reverse the ruling and choose the rematch in its place? That's all for now. To receive the best news, events, and actions in the boxing world, follow us on YouTube and remember to enable notifications so you can be informed when we post high-quality content like this. Until the next time. That's all for now. To get the most up-to-date information on news, events, and activities in the boxing world, follow us on YouTube and remember to enable notifications so you can be informed when we post high-quality content like this. Until the next time, peace.